You're listening to Big Blend Radio with Nancy and Lisa, the mother-daughter travel team and publishers of BigBlendMagazines.com. And our first guest on the show today is Bobbie DePorter. She's the co-founder of SuperCamp. And SuperCamp is the world's leading summer academic achievement camp in the world. I mean, they have campuses, I think it's in 14 countries, you know. And I'm excited because as we travel around on our Big Blend Spirit of America tour, I know we're going to start hanging out at some university campuses.
Oh, yeah.
I already said, you know, I never made it through university, so this is my way, just travel. I'm in the College of Knowledge of the University of Life, right? But Bobbie DePorter is also the president of Quantum Learning Network, and you can keep up with everything she does if you go to supercamp.com, also QLN.com, and the 8 Keys of Excellence is something she's going to be talking about, very connected to our tour. If you go to 8keys.org, and if you want to read her articles, not only does she write a lot of articles for our qualityoflifemagazine.com, but she is also the author of over a dozen books focusing on excellence and education. So Bobbie is quite the lady. How are you, Bobbie?
I'm doing really well. Just really glad to be here with you.
I know. You know, I wish we were at QLN with you at the coast, you know, in Oceanside, California. We like your conference room in there. And
it's fun, and I love the conversations. Keep going and
going. You know, you know, when we visited you, I mean, we've been there, about 2 or 3 times now, and, you know, you think of a conference center, convention center, that kind of thing, and, you know, it gets all like, oh, la-di-da, you know, but there's this relaxed feeling to QLN. And I think, you know, I know you incorporate music in all of the rooms. There's something to do with music. So I think there's that flow through the whole building that just has an open atmosphere.
Yeah, we love our space, and what we love is to share it with others. Having people here, I love it because I get to sit in my office and do our work and what we're doing, and then friends and events and things come into our space, so it's wonderful.
Well, I know I chatted with you yesterday, and you had people milling all over the place, and this is all tied into the 8 Keys of Excellence, something I know we're going to talk about today.
Yes, we're very involved with the schools in North County, San Diego area. So we had a lot of superintendents in our building and other people from the school district. And I felt like, you know, I went in there to talk to them. I feel like a person in a candy store. It's like, oh, these are the topics. These are people I want, you know, love to talk with, and that they are incorporating the 8 Keys of Excellence into their schools. I'm in Oceanside, and the first week of September, 20,000 students in Oceanside, all the same week, learned the 8 Keys of Excellence and brought them home to their families. So it's really fun to hear it. I just love that it gets out.
Great. That's great. So the 8 Keys of Excellence, this is something we're, you know, so proud to be a part of with our tour, with our Big Blend Spirit of America tour. If everyone goes to BigBlendSpiritOfAmericaTour.com, you'll see we have a whole 8 Keys of Excellence section on our site. And as we travel across the country, going to all 397 national parks, our goal is, and it really goes in with the Park Centennial, has a call to action goal and report with what they're doing with the Centennial of the Parks in 2016, is education is a big part of it. And national parks and family are very connected, and we want to make sure that's there. But we're going around getting stories, video stories. We're talking to people what the 8 Keys of Excellence means to them in their national parks. But, Bobbie, can you give everybody a little idea of what the 8 Keys of Excellence are, what the 8 Keys are, but also how you even came up with the idea?
Mm-hmm. Well, we came up with the idea 30 years ago by looking at successful people, but not just successful people. It's people that come from a place of excellence. And people can be successful in doing whatever they're doing in life. But when you come from a place of excellence, that's how, you know, we define success in life, that you have a positive core inside you, and it's who you are as a person, is, you know, somebody of integrity, somebody, you know, that's committed. And it's a certain type of person. When you come from that place, you know, others gravitate because they trust you and respect you, and you feel better about yourself. So when we found that when people adopt the 8 Keys of Excellence, there's, you know, for different people there could be subtle changes or maybe more overt changes, but there's a sense of, you know, fulfillment and really knowing who you are. So the 8 Keys are principles to live by. They're principles that are a guidance system to get you from where you are to who you want to be, living your best life. And they include integrity, failure leads to success, speak with good purpose. This is it. Commitment, ownership, flexibility, and balance.
And it's interesting as we travel around and we bring up these keys, the responses I was saying at the very beginning of the show, people, you can see their faces light up because sometimes it's how they've learned those keys just through day-to-day life in their business or just as a human being, and then it really affects people emotionally too. I mean, we were chatting with a lady, and just out of privacy, keeping her name quiet here, but she did an 8 Keys of Excellence video story for us, and but then she says, I really wanted to talk about this other key. It said, this is it, live in the now. And what it was that, a very, very dear close friend has leukemia. And he's, you have this many years to live and very short amount of time. And this gentleman is out there doing fundraisers. He's in races with his yacht to raise money and awareness for leukemia. He is living his day, every day, like living it 100%, but not just for him, but for the greater good. And for her, this just was such a big part of it, but she couldn't speak. It was too hard, Yet she really learned that through him, to always live.
Yes. So this is a key, be in the present moment, and I was a friend of mine who has cancer. She is very, very positive, and everything out of her, it just exudes smiles and positivity, and it's like, how can you do that? And she said, she's been living the 8 Keys for many years, but she just said, everybody is going to die sometime. I just might die a little sooner than you, but every single day is so precious, and I'm making the most of every day. And when you're in present time and every day, it's a beautiful thing.
I think there's also, when you live by these principles, it's a confidence builder so that it makes it easier to make the right choice. Because, we have choices all day long every day. And there's a difference in the choice you make if you are aware and committed to the 8 Keys of Excellence. There's a difference. And it does, go ahead.
It is about that we can make a choice, too, and realizing that everything is choice. I got really busy for this certain week that I just had all these things happening during the day and the night, and I'm at one moment my mind went, I'm so tired, I have all these things I have to do, and then I went, wait a minute, who planned these things I have to do? Oh yeah, that would be me.
Yeah, it's like, hello.
Right. Taking responsibility and know that every day you're making choices in your life.
It is about the choices, and I think though, when you talk about the balance key, I feel that with the tour, and I think I was telling you that on the phone the other day when we had a conversation. It was, planning this Big Blend Spirit of America tour is not just, okay, we're going, which we jumped right in. It was totally, I remember the very first time we came to QLN, and we knew we were just launching the tour, and we launched it from your conference center, and we're like, this is it moment. It truly is. We went to Cabrillo National Monument. It was our very first park, and we thought, well, it was a national park observance day, and people could go to the park for free, and we're like, well, that's it. We got to jump now. Let's do it. We are committed, and we've done a few trips. We've been to the Sequoia National Park a couple times, and we're never done in that area. And then we went out to Mount Rainier, and we learned so much along the way. Now we know, okay, this is what works, this is what doesn't. Now we know what we need for the 5 years, and that sheer focus comes in where you feel like you can do anything, but you're so focused and so committed, yet for some reason you do actually sleep better at night. I can't explain it, but everything feels so darn good.
Yeah. When you look at so many of the keys, because you exemplify commitment, with what you're doing, and I can, when you talk, it's not about will we do this, it's just about how we will do it, because you're committed, it's going to happen. And so then the little things that happen, there could be some little failures, or by failures I mean you do it different next time, and
right.
It's always, okay, everything's feedback, and that's what the thing is, everything's feedback. What are we doing? What did we learn? How will we do it differently next time? And so it's always that forward motion. You're always feeling forward, not, oh, wow, that didn't work out exactly the way I wanted it to. You just always, what's next, and what do I need to do? And so you're always forward. And I just love that kind of mindset.
And it's flow. It is that choice, because you go, is this in alignment or not? It's like kind of, your choices become very quick and easy. You don't even have to really think as much because it's just like, does this align with that whole being? You really are so living it. You are in it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's like you don't have time, and you can't deal with anything that's going to be a negative and go and work against it. So you don't even allow yourself to be in that part. It's like a giant clearing.
Yes. And, when we take a moment, we go inside, you do know, because there's that intuitive little thing inside of you that says, am I doing the right thing or the wrong thing? And we just have to stop for a moment, and our bodies will tell us, because we're so intuitive about that from our past experiences. We know what's right.
It's funny trying to, to actually plan 5 years in advance as far as exactly how many miles you're going to travel, what cities you're going to go to, how you're going to do it. I mean,
my dart theory didn't work. You can't just throw the dart.
It's very different. There's one thing, to having goals, and we're going to end by doing this. But the in-between time and having to actually put it down on paper and say, okay, in this month we're going to be in this town and we're going to travel this many miles, and then knowing and recognizing your weak points. For example, we know that we are we can say to ourselves, oh, we can drive 13, 14 hours, no biggie. But we also have been there, done that. No, it's really not. It's not the best way of doing things. So we found ourselves kind of putting in things that would block us from making plans that are too physically difficult. Mm-hmm. Just putting up roadblocks to stop ourselves from doing what we might do if we didn't have to look at a full 5 years.
It's being in that moment and being in present time and awareness, and then having that balance and energy when you get to the parks to be able to spend the time there and take it in and breathe it in.
Yeah, breathe it in. You're talking about that with the national parks. I mean, to me, when you go to a park, a lot of times there's the history side, but there's the nature side, and it's interesting. I know we're going to be interviewing the author Ken Evans about the crash course of the anatomy of being a robot. But sometimes I feel that we become these robots where we don't feel anymore, and it actually can take you more than a day to actually unwind and really start to feel. And sometimes nature is truly that need. And when you're out in a national park, some of these places, like when we were in Mount Rainier, you're in it, and if you make a wrong step, you're sliding. We hiked over a part of a glacier, mm-hmm. And if you make the wrong step, you're in trouble. So you have to be focused, yet you're in this awe, and you're together, like a mother-daughter moments and moments with our friends and hikers that we went with. There's this bonding that you don't get. It is like a ropes course, but you're out in nature and you're with the elements. So you have these things that will never leave your life. Or your life story.
You're changed forever from it. When you're there, you think, oh, well, I'm just going for a walk. I'm looking at trees. And when you take it in, you're changed forever. There's a quote by John Muir, and I love this. It says, you may know it, I only went out for a walk, and I finally concluded to stay out until sundown. For going out, I found I was really going in. And I think that, with being out in the national parks and really walking around, what you're doing is really discovering about yourself and really loving. I just love the connection with the 8 Keys of Excellence, because that's what they are, about building a strong core inside and going inside and building that strong core of who you are and really discovering who you are and feeling good about yourself, because it's all about your best self. When you're your best self, this is who I am. And when you're out in nature, it gives you those moments of just walking around and breathing the air and looking what's around you, being really aware, going out for a walk, and really find that you're going in.
It's interesting that we can be so off balance that it takes several days for people to, when they're on vacation, everybody says, okay, it wasn't until the third day I started to really unwind. When you think about that, that it takes that long to even think about getting yourself back in balance. Mm-hmm. It's an amazing thing. I mean, and you could see it on different people. when they're hiking through, the ones who run through and the ones who are still acting as if they're in the office and the ones with the cell phones and they just can't leave it behind just yet. Maybe by the second or third day, the cell phone will be turned off or put somewhere,
Yeah.
And there is a thing of balance for people where at some point, does it really take 3 days to unwind? Are we that far gone balance-wise?
Well, the more the practice, the quicker that you can get in that state. I get aware of it. I was home with my husband, Joe, and we're sitting out in our backyard, and it's very peaceful for us out there. But yet I noticed that I wasn't all the way peaceful, and I was thinking about, if I'm in a park or out by the shore someplace where I know I can't get to anything, and I thought, whoa, I still know that I'm in arm's reach of the phone, or, it might ring, or I might hear a ding of an email, even though I'm sitting there.
And this is the other part of it, with the Centennial, I think the national parks and all their partners like the National Parks Conservation Association, they've really worked on what do our parks mean to us. I mean, they are America's best idea. Really going back to John Muir, thinking about Theodore Roosevelt and even Abraham Lincoln, looking at we're going to preserve these lands. They also, I would say, they're the thermometer for the environment too, because we'll fight for keeping the rivers clean, and Yosemite and the Merced River. You want to keep that clean so that you keep the pristine, wilderness, the wilderness pristine. But at the same time, that water flows through the cities that we are in, and a lot of times we are actually fed our water from these park areas, like Hetch Hetchy and Yosemite, the Everglades area. The water there, if they didn't save the Everglades, then South Florida would not have any water. So there's a lot of these issues. So the balance to me comes into you're looking at the health of a family and the future families and future, kids growing up in this country, that they have this clean environment. But Bobbie, we're hiking, and some people are going to jog and do their thing. Everybody has a thing that they get to do in a national park. It's our playground. But hiking and getting out there, we need to move as a society. We need to start, walking around and get away from the desk. Because I don't think it's all beer bellies. I think we have desk bellies.
We have computer bellies.
Exactly.
We do. Computer butts.
Yeah. iPad butts. Yeah.
Well, it slows us down. We know the value of things, of meditating or doing, slowing down in different moments. But boy, I think nothing but the national parks with the trees and the streams and the water. I don't think anything tops that for just getting that moment of, your shoulders relax and you look around, and it's just a sense of quietness and quiet the mind where you're not even thinking of anything, just kind of soaking it in. One of the most beneficial things we can do.
Bobbie, we were talking about the 8 keys and balance. And I do want to get everyone to understand what we're doing with this 8 Keys of Excellence, your campaign, because, part of what we're doing is we travel around and we're getting the park stories and the video stories with people with the 8 keys, what their favorite key is. And we also have a pledge, or the Pledge of Excellence. It's our Spirit of America Tour pledge. And people get to sign on there that, hey, you know what, I want to support our national parks. And, that's part of something I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the parks. I'm going to support them, make sure that they're funded by using your vote, however you want to do it as an individual. But the other part is that you're also pledging to live these 8 Keys of Excellence. And you have a goal. I mean, you're keeping us busy, all right? 50 million people? I mean, my gosh, Nancy and I are like, oh, my gosh, we're going to meet 50 million people.
I know, we're doing it one person at a time.
But actually, you've already got, I think, 10 million that you've affected. I mean, only 10 million,
Well, it could be 25 million over the 4 years, and I better get another 25 million in the last year. It kind of compounds itself. But when people live them and talk about them and make that pledge, there's something that happens when you actually sign your name, that I am making a pledge to live the 8 Keys of Excellence, to live in integrity, to acknowledge that failure leads to success, to speak with good purpose, to live in the now, this is it, to confirm my commitment, take ownership, stay flexible, and keep my balance. It's like there's something that happens when people sign their name to something like that. that shifts inside of them. And sometimes, people will make one choice, think they're going to make one choice or another, and it's like, oh, I'm a person who lives by the 8 keys of excellence. This is who I am. I'm a person of excellence. I'll make this choice. And how it spreads from, sometimes it's spread from a child to their parents, to into the school, to their business or organization, or, it starts the other way around and goes down. But what we're finding is they really spread because people are proud that they're a person that comes from a place of excellence.
Now, on 8keys.org, I know you have a family program. You have a program for schools. You even work with cities as an entire city or town.
Yes.
And this is something exciting for us as we do our public speaking. So, Bobbie, we're practicing our speak with good purpose and cleaning up our act,
There you go.
But, this is a free program for families. And so thinking about the national parks and the key of balance and the excellence key of balance, what can a family do now? I mean, I'm looking at September 29th this weekend is National Public Lands Day. Anybody can go to a national park for free. And if you go to nps.gov or npca.org, you'll find all kinds of activities that are planned out here in Saguaro National Park. We're cleaning up invasive weeds and all that kind of stuff. So everybody's got different things you can do, but getting out there as a family or even a group of friends, what can they do and to actually incorporate the key of balance or any of the 8 keys in?
Well, the key of balance, I love the definition. It's being mindful of self and others while focusing on what's meaningful and important in your life. And what better way, of what's important and meaningful is to go to plan a family trip, for the Public Lands Day, be there, and then having conversations. As you're walking, just open up conversations. What's meaningful and important in your life? And see what comes out. And we know that inner happiness and fulfillment come when our mind, body, and emotions are nurtured by the choices we make. And so just as a family having conversations, so often, even at a family dinner, sometimes people are just looking at each other. It's a big step to have a family dinner. But the other, have a meaningful, conversation rather than, a child talking about somebody that they're upset with at school or this is going on or what's bad in the world. It's like looking at, what's important to us as a family, and what's meaningful and how does that show up in our life and how can we do more things that are meaningful and important as a family. And just, what a wonderful way it'd be walking a park and having these types of conversations. So it's a structured conversation that really, it makes people closer and builds up people, and people, every member of the family feels better about themselves. It's like, wow, others care and are listening to me and care about my opinions or what is important to me. And those types of conversations really bring families together, build relationship and have everybody feeling better about themselves.
Right on. I love it. And I want to tell everybody, again, 8keys.org, the number 8keys.org. Go check it out and sign up for the program. And don't forget, Big Blend SpiritofAmericaTour.com. Take the pledge, sign it, mail it in to us, and check it out. Let us know what your national park is, your favorite one is. Email us through that website. And you know what? We want to meet people at the different parks. We want to meet you when we come to your town. I mean, we're on a 5-year journey. And I say journey because I have this feeling it's going to be a long one. And it's exciting. And Bobbie, please tell Joe we say hi. And we hope to see you both real soon. We miss you both.
Yeah, I miss you too.
Yeah. We'll be out in San Diego, hopefully either this fall or early winter, and looking forward to, in April, I know we're going to have our anniversary show at QLN out in Oceanside, so I know for sure we're going to be doing our 1-year anniversary of the National Park Tour from Quantum Learning Network. So
excellent.
Looking
Beautiful.
forward to that. And the other thing, too, I know you'll be back on the show October 19th. We're going to be talking about the 8 keys of excellence and college. That's a huge issue, college and university for kids. And, I think it's those skills that, get them as fast as you can and incorporate them into your life. So good stuff, Bobbie, as always. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And just so pleased to be a partner. Oh, my goodness.
Well, we are,
wonderful.
too. We're just... you've I think we really actually needed the 8 keys of excellence to help us on this tour. Can I just say that?
I know. I find it just weaves into so many of my daily conversations about what you're doing, and I keep saying the Keys are going to the national parks. Tell everybody.
No, I know. But really, it really gives a good path to what we're doing. So we really appreciate it, and glad that we have got this all together.
Well, I know that our forefathers who decided before, they were never as crowded as we are in this country, and they already took a look in what we need to save this. They were speaking with good purpose, and we need to continue that.
Yes.
Yes, more voices to speak with good purpose.
Well, we're excited. I want to tell people also, go to BigBlendSpiritOfAmericaTour.com, because a lot of our Big Blend experts are starting to write articles about it. We have Andrew Martoni, who's been on a couple of the panels with you, who's the author of the Little Man in the Map series, children's book series. He's written his story about integrity. He's done Failure Leads to Success, and he talks about it, that whole, for him publishing these books and getting it right. And he'll be on our show October 14th, Bobbie, to talk about Speak with Good Purpose. Yeah, the key number 3. So a lot of experts are joining on board and going, wait a minute, this is something awesome. So a lot of inspiration there. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Take
care, Bobbie. Everybody, again, go to supercamp.com and check it out. A great, great program for your kids and family. Definitely, especially for summer next year. It's coming, so check it out. And also, again, the free family program for the 8 Keys of Excellence. You can incorporate it into your life. Go to 8keys.org. And if you want to read Bobbie's articles and listen to her past interviews, go to qualityoflifemagazine.com.